Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Blood Bowl. I am the Illusionist and you are watching the Ironbeards in the Giant in the Playground League. This week we are playing Lizardmen again. The Pahuax Predators have come to the far north and are playing in the snow. We're going to see if we can do something about our streak of bad luck we've been having lately. Our last match was a draw against the Amazons, and before that we suffered a couple of losses at various different places. So we're going to have to try a little bit harder to get back on track. At this point in the league we can still make the playoffs. We can't get second or first place because the runaway leaders, both the Pro Elves and the Amazons we've already placed, are way ahead of everyone else. But we can still make third or fourth. We have, I think it's 4 more games left. If I win 3 of them, I'm guaranteed a place in the playoffs. If I win all 4, I will guarantee have third place. So that's what we're looking at. In today's match, Dwarves have won the kickoff, and we've chosen to receive. It seems to work for us so far, and while we're doing that, we can have the death roller on the pitch. Try and forge us a way ahead, and we're going to need it. Look at this Lizardman team. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Saurus, a Croxigor and Slibley, the star player, who is in the middle. There he is. My team is pushing around 1600 value at this point. The Lizardmen are a little bit less than 1300, so they've got enough inducements to pick up not only a mercenary skink, because they were short one, but they've got a star player into the mix. So that's 7 strength 4 players and a Croxigor I'm having to fight down. This is going to be tricky. My plan is try and stack all my guys in one place, because at the minute in my team of 13 players, about 7 or 8 of them all have the guard skill. So at any effective point, my guys should be strength 4, forcing my opponent to blitz around the edges, and once he's done that, has his blitz used for the turn, so it should be a little bit harder for him to catch up. And of course we've got the Death Roller, who trumps everything on the pitch, even the Croxigor, who is only strength 5, hasn't yet picked up a skill, so I can juggernaut him out the way without having to worry too much about getting a both down result. Not going to be getting too much use out of multiple block in this game, however, because most of the Saurus, if not all of them, do have the block skill. Even though I'm getting 2 dice against them, rolling 2 blocks per turn is asking for trouble. That's going to get someone badly hurt if I'm not careful. High kick. That's kind of what I wanted actually. I want my runner under the ball as close as I can get. He doesn't catch it though, and it scatters off the field. That's going to go straight into his hands. I don't want it on this front line. I've said in other videos before I shouldn't have a straight line like this right up the front. But since I'm receiving and I need to have my guard players up at the front, I figure it's not too much of a problem this time. Especially because the skinks can't quite move fast enough to get to where my runner is. I've actually counted it out. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to actually form a blitz. And they're doing it. They need an assist to do it, and all my guys have got tackle. So actually getting through my line is going to be a lot trickier. What I do want to do though is have my sides protected to stop the Saurus running through and jumping on his face. So I've got my 2 guys here and here. First thing we do, send in the Death Roller. It's a blitz, try and get rid of that unpleasant block skill. And then we can sick the Troll Slayer on Slibley. I get a push, but he's got stand firm, so it doesn't really help. Oh, and the second frenzy goes off, badly hurt on the first roll of the game. About time my Troll Slayer started picking up some points. He picked up Mighty Blades, something like my 4th game, and hasn't achieved anything since. Good job, Krungil. Well, that's an excellent first turn. I've got the ball, and I've taken out what might be the most dangerous player on the pitch with a roll of the dice. So, Now we're going to try and play a bit safer. I can move my guys away from the front line and get a cage going down here. It's not going to be a full cage, so I do still want to have these blockers in the way to stop the Saurus running through, but that's enough there that if a skink does dodge through the line, he's not going to have an easy time. He's going to need 3, 4, 5. He's going to need 5 skinks to get 1 dice on my runner doing that. And since these are guard blockers, it's probably going to take even more than that, frankly. And since he only has 3 skinks on the pitch, feeling pretty good about that. The Saurus are not likely to be dodging through, because that's 3 dodges with agility 1. Don't think anyone has break tackle. He doesn't. Mighty blow, block, block, nothing. Okay, feeling pretty good about that. The ball is safe for this turn. I've decided to keep my other Troll Slayer off the pitch over here. One, because they're only armour 8, and there's a lot of strength 4 Mighty Blow players on the opponent's team. And secondly, because they're all strength 4, I don't really want to be wasting my rerolls on trying to control frenzies everywhere. One is useful because he's got Mighty Blow and he's proven that by taking out Slibbly. And it's also not too bad when you can get Dauntless to go off and push a guy off the pitch and crowd surf him. Doing that twice per turn though is going to be asking for trouble, so I'm not going to be doing that. Stacking players on the Blitzer on the right hand side. That looks as though it's going to be his ingress for the turn. He can get a skink around this side here if he really wants to. But I think at the minute he's just putting tackle zones on me, making it difficult for me to wield my agility 3 players with any reliability. There we go, so he tries to push through here. Makes a bit of extra space for the skink. He didn't really need it, but then that will also let the Saurus follow a bit more easily afterwards. One of the skinks have sidestep, so he's not going to get crowd surfed without a lot of effort. Dodge, stunty, catch. Okay. So that Saurus is looking down the barrel of a death roller. That guy's dead meat, essentially. Not much I can do to move 3 strength 4, strength 4 and a strength 5 player out of the way. In the meantime, he's tying up all 3 of those characters, so I'm not too unhappy about that. What I want to do is get this guy out of the way, and then I can move my runner up to about here and stack 3 more players around him in a much tighter cage without having this guy stood worrying him. It's slow and steady advancement, but it's advancement nonetheless. It's not as though the death roll is going to get pushed back in and force some shunting to go on, because he simply won't move, not with stand firm on his side. Kind of wish I hadn't done that with the Troll Slayer, because he's not really any weaker than any other player, but that 1 less armour value, if anyone's going to get taken down, it's probably going to be him. And also, if he does try to do a block, Frenzy is going to drag him out of formation, and that's going to leave my cage exposed. Meanwhile, I'm looking around trying to find a good place to throw a block. I'm going to get 1 dice over here with the blocker, because... No, I'm not actually, because he gets an assist from that guy, I only get an assist from him, so he's still strength 4 against strength 3. That's going to happen a lot in this match, I feel. It's going to come down to Dauntless and the Death Roller. Let's see if I can keep it going. I'm going to put a guy there because chances are I'm going to get a 1 dice on someone, the Cropsior. I take him down, which is really good. So then now that becomes strength 5 on the strength 4 blocker. That's going in my favour next turn. Whereas this guy, strength 4 against strength 3. Attacker down, not a great start. And attacker down again. Okay, that's how it's going to be, is it? If I had left that, at least that would have been strength 5 on this guy, forcing this guy to make an attack on him. It's a 1 in 3 chance he'd only get pushed, so that'd still be strength 4 on him. He wouldn't be able to go anywhere. As it is, this guy can move around, and he gets the extra assist. Start pushing my wall down. I don't regret that. I mean, fighting Lizardmen is never a particularly great idea, not when there's so many strength 4 and block players on the pitch. But I don't have any passing game to speak of. I have to start taking them down while I can. Ideally, I want to get in reach of his skinks, because I can tackle them with the tackle skill. They're easy to kill, and once they're off the pitch, my opponent is not handling the ball. You can't do that, you can't score a touchdown. Pretty straightforward, really. Having said that, cast your mind back to one of our earlier games against the Sun's Children, the other Lizardmen, when we had the Saurus picking up the ball and running for the touchdown in the second half. Let's have less of that, if you please. Saurus makes a blitz on the cage. He's deciding between push. Yeah, probably the right choice. I mean, I get 1 dice to knock this guy away because my runner counts as an assist and my blocker has got the guard skill. But he's put a tackle zone on my runner and I can't get out here easily. What I need to do is hit the Saurus with a death roller, push him this way, and then probably get a sort of 3-man cage roughly here between the Troll Slayer and the death roller. Well, he's moved his skink in, so that's 1 more assist. I'm going to have to move my blocker out of the way to cancel that out. Alternatively, what I'll do is just hit the skink, put a player, probably this player, on the Saurus, and that means it's a stalemate. He will use his Croxigor to break in next turn, but by that point I'll have all my players back on their feet. There we go, that's what we wanted. Of course I could blitz with him and then move straight back again, that works, I guess. Pushed. Yep, that'll do. What I can do is... what I could do is follow up, have the blocker throw an attack on the Saurus to push him back, and the other one just join the cage here. That will probably work. But at the same time, I want to get an advantage on these two, because these guys are really threatening my side. Pushed and pushed. Death Roller is not playing ball today. I could really do with another injury, try and thin out the Saurus. Both down, defender down, perfect. So that helps the blitzer on the other Saurus. It lets me put my blocker back into the cage, so just in case that guy gets free. He's not likely to, but just in case I can put him somewhere here as an assist against anyone coming in. Although he's not my guard piece, so he's not going to be that effective. Would I want him close to the Croxigor for the assist? Probably not, because then the Croxigor is putting a tackle zone on 2 players who he still gets 2 dice against. It's probably best I leave the blocker there. So he doesn't put a tackle zone on him, he's not near any other players, helping those guys out too, but he's still stopping people from dodging in this way by providing a tackle zone around this area. Bit of a gamble, but then that's nice games for you. Gilius gets taken down by the Croxigor. Mighty Blow stuns him, so it's broken armour, but not a big problem. Problem is the Saurus can now come around this way and get my runner. What, this way too? Bender stumbles, okay, that's not great. Blocker doesn't make the catch, don't even try to re-roll that. No, because it's not my turn, mostly. So that was a bit of fortune, actually. Having the blocker there has put a tackle zone on the ball. So even if this skink does jump up and try to dodge away from this tackle piece and try and get the ball, every step of the way it's a disadvantage. So, no, he fails to pick up. Worthwhile attempt, because all I'm going to do is probably push the Saurus back and pick it up with my runner this turn. Injury, great stuff. Look, doesn't get a level up, unfortunately, but he's on his way to his second skill. So he's guard and he's guard. So if I use this guy to push the Saurus away, he gets the assist from this Troll Slayer. Runner can get the ball. He's more or less safe from blitzers, I think. Unless this guy manages some sort of crazy dodge around. Nearly dropped the ball again. Something about Armok, he's probably my least reliable runner so far. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's hit 12 points, so he's scored and he's picked the ball up and done all sorts of cool things. But at the same time, he struggles to pick up the ball. He uses his sure hands far more than any other player on my team, I'm sure he does. Deathroller finally gets a down, and makes life difficult for the Saurus. It's only one dice from the blocker, but I've got block, he doesn't. Ooh, do I go for it to put into position? Yes I do. So, another E-rolled down. I want this Saurus out of the way. Should have... No, I don't need to follow up actually, because he's in a tackle zone for 2 players. It's not like he's going to dodge away very easily. It's 5+, I think, for him to do that on agility 1. And now we're just forcing him to blitz. The less blocks he can get, the less damage he can do. Yeah, swords down, and broken armour as well. That's another really good turn for me. I've got the ball. All my immediate threats are contained. This guy is pinning my blitzer, which isn't great. At the same time, he's also the Lizardman star player. He's got 2 skill-ups. So he's being pinned by my blitzer as well. Not a lot else I can do about that. I don't want to risk the Troll Slayer frenzying into the Saurus, as Dauntless is only 50-50. It's 1 dice, and as soon as it goes wrong, I get the Croxigor. I get the blocker as well, so it's going to be 1 dice and 1 dice. I don't particularly want to risk that. Still got his skink at the back. I'm not terribly worried about that guy. He hasn't got a lot of blitzing capability. So if I can sneak past him, all he can really do is put a tackle zone on one of my players. And then they can just punch him down and get out of the way. Croxigor about face, putting a tackle zone on my blocker. I think he's likely to get hit by a Saurus in very short order. Or at the very least he's putting tackle zones to stop me coming through here, which is also quite reasonable. So he's going to knock over my blitzer and then run around and... oh dear, there goes Snorri. No long-term effects, I'm not worried about that. I still have my 2 players back up. One of course will replace the Death Roller at the end of the half, but I'll still have 11 players. The Lizardman player will still be down also to 11, so he'll bring his last skink onto the pitch. Goes for it, puts a tackle zone on the runner. Again, not a big problem, as I've got enough spare bodies to blitz him away. The question is, what do I do after that? Because I can't run through here, and there's no going around either way. It's going to be tricky. Pushed them both down from the Saurus. They both got blocked, so that's stalemate. I think my best plan would be to hit the Saurus with a Death Roller and either push him to the side or hopefully knock him down, and then reform my cage here using the blocker and another assistant here to push the Saurus out of the way. And that leaves me with, say, 4 players in the middle. I'll have advanced up the pitch and there's not much in front of me to stop, but it will mean I'm surrounded on both sides when I really want to be on the edge of the pitch at this point to try and limit the number of bodies who can be taking a swing at me. So there we go, Death Roller takes down the Saurus. Ooh, KO is absolutely brilliant, that's what we wanted. This gives the Troll Slayer a knockdown. Dauntless goes off, doesn't really do any harm or any good, but it was nice to know. So the Blitzer can hopefully push the Saurus away. Pushed and pushed, yep, I'll take that. He will follow up, put a tackle zone on the guy. Again, I'm forcing Blitzers instead of blocks. So what I can do is move my runner further up here, into the middle. It's a bit exposed. Again, the skink has moved, he's over here now. So I'm not too worried about it, but this guy could be a problem. If he blitzes the blocker, doesn't follow up, and then puts a tackle zone on my runner, all of these guys are going to have to push the Saurus out of the way to get him off again. Or I can just death roll him, that works too, I guess. Having a quick look to see if I can get any more 2 dice blocks. I can't, although I can possibly get a 1 on the Saurus if I'm feeling lucky, but I'm not going to risk it. I want these players tied up. So the blocker goes down, the Croxigor is free at that point. We don't want that. As it stands, all he can do is either blitz me with a skink, with an assist from the other skink who runs up, so that's going to be a 1 dice. But I think what he might be doing instead is blitzing the blocker out of the way and move the Saurus up on the runner to put a tackle zone on him. Not too worried about this. I can blitz through the skink. He's got dodge, but I don't have tackle. So it's only a 1 in 6 chance of failure, where it's going to be, so the gap here, even a push will move him out the way to this side, and I can just run up the middle. It's a lot of work to put on my runner. I only have the 1 reroll left. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He can score this turn. Do I want to score early is the question. I might not have a choice, but he does have enough skinks left to do a 2-turn touchdown. And I don't really want to have to line up in front of his Saurus and his Croxigor again. So all that's going to do is give him a chance at punching me. Oh no, he made it free with the Croxigor. Both down and pushed, that's fine, I can live with that. Of course he's going to follow up. He's pushing me away from the end zone. I, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, cannot score anymore. Although I can get damn close. Problem is I only have the 1 blitz, so what I should really do, if I can take this guy down, I can put a tackle zone on the Croxigor with the blocker or the Troll Slayer, put a tackle zone on the Saurus with the Death Roller, have my runner run probably to about here, forcing him to be blitzed by the skinks. Problem is that doesn't leave me with a lot to do the turn after, because then I'll be in base contact with 2 skinks, assuming I don't get knocked down. But, tricky. Probably if I can blitz one out the way and either stun it or knock it down, I'm safe. If I can't, kind of stuck. So what I want to do is stop the Croxigor chasing me. He's movement 6, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's nowhere I can go that he can't. Unless I just go completely to the side over here, in which case I get surfed by a pair of skinks. So we'll play it safe. We'll move the runner first. I'm a turn away from scoring. I'm not going to risk the go for it with only 1 reroll. We get the Saurus out of the way. That's fine. We've based the other Saurus. Now we've based the Croxigor, so he's forcing him to blitz. I've still got my blitz there. What I could do, I suppose, is blitz the Croxigor to the side. So he's 1 square away, but he's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you'd have to go for it to hit the runner, but that's not really a big risk with 2 dice to hit and 2 rerolls left to use. What I'm trying to do is find a way where I can get some more injuries, because the half is going to end fairly soon, and I don't want to be in a position where I've spent all my strength this half just to get rolled over in the next one. My death roll is going off. There's my big advantage. I've lost a player to injury. Another good player, my blitzer. It's another disadvantage. So what we'll do is we'll push the Saurus backwards. Hopefully down. Or not. So then even if he did try a desperate dodge, he can't blitz my runner. I mean, that would have been a worthwhile attempt as any, given that that's the block piece. So it's down to the skinks. The best he can do is probably get 1 dice blitz. And unless he's really lucky, I'll still be able to escape from that. Bad times for the blockers down here, who's stuck facing down a pair of Saurus with his buddies. Maybe I can get lucky. No, that must have been a two dice against because of the assist there. Okay, so again, what he's done is putting the skinks ahead of me. That's not actually going to help, so I can just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 around the skink. What he needs to be doing is putting me in base contact here, forcing me to roll the dice. Even if I don't, even if he doesn't blitz me, he puts 1 skink here, 1 skink here. I'm not dodging through. I have to blitz, and I have to blitz on 1 dice, because they're both strength 2, 3, against my strength 3. As is, I can just walk around them. That's not going to help. That's far too far away from the action. Also doesn't help, far too far away from the action. Follows up into a tackle zone, so if this guy gets up and I choose to do so next turn, I can do something about that. So his best bet is push the croc score out the way, and then put a tackle zone on the runner maybe? Yeah, that's what I'd have done. I'd have put the croc score on and both skinks, so that makes them strength 2, 3, 4. So then I can't blitz. I mean, this is just 1 dodge now. I can still just go dodge sideways with a reroll. It's 3+ to do so. I don't particularly want to be doing that as a dwarf, but what the hell, I'm agility 3. I don't think he can score, because it's far too far, even for a skink to get down there. 16, so yeah, with 20 movement, I think he's 1 square short of the end zone, even with 4 go for it. So what I want to do is keep tackle zones on these guys, so there's not going to be a handoff or anything crazy like that. And get the death roller going. In case this goes wrong, I can still recover. But no, I make the dodge. Run around, touchdown for Pahuax Predators. I can't really complain about that. That's exactly as I thought. He needed to be basing me. Force me to go through him, not just walk around. But now we have a significant advantage. He's 3 players down, putting him on 10? No, 9, I believe, because he had that extra. And I go up to 11, even though the death roller goes off. Did quite well there. Stunned a couple of guys, KO'd a couple more. No problem at all. This still kind of sucks. Because now I'm running out of rerolls. I've got my frenzy players on the pitch. I don't have my death roller causing problems. I'm going to take a beating. I need to get these skinks off the pitch. However, I'm kicking, he can't score. So at this point all I need to worry about is just surviving till the end of the half, and I'm feeling pretty good about that now. So we pull back. We don't worry about going too far. It's not as though he has to worry about getting past me. But what we don't want is to be in a position where he can just pick and choose and murder whichever one of my players he feels like murdering. So what if I do, if I put the 3 guys on the line, what he can do is knock one down, crowd the rest of his players around it, and then foul him. And he can do that to an expensive player like my other blitzer, for example, my only other agility 3 player on the pitch. I'm going to really struggle to get the ball away. As it is, I've got my stand firm guard piece in the middle. These guys are both strength 4, he counts as strength 5. Now these guys are strength 4, strength 5, strength 4 on the end. So unless he loads up his front line, he's going to have to do that to try and get through, and he's going to be risking it all on one dice. Whereas I've got these guys at the side, so if he does follow up, say to here, he's not easily going to get around and through with a successful blitz. I think I've got lucky to an extent. Lizardmen teams require quite a bit of advancement. They're like chaos teams in the sense that they start with very few skills and on players who are reasonably difficult to level up. 2 or 3 more games time, when more of the Saurus have guard or mighty blow, this would be a real problem. But as it is, I seem to have caught it just on the cusp of where I can reliably fight back. So yeah, here we go. He uses his Croxigore to take down my Blitzer, because he's got the strength advantage. That makes this guy only strength 4. This guy's only strength 3 because this isn't in a tackle zone. So he's going to have to start working in from the edge. But that's committed for his players to do so. So he's not going to easily be able to get into a position where he can start moving the ball down the pitch. Well, so the good news is he has his mercenary skink on the pitch. Honestly, in his position, I'd have put him on the pitch straight away. Because then, at the very least, that would prevent his actual skink, where is he, from getting injured. Because now that guy is going to be stuck off the pitch for the rest of the game. And he's also not going to be probably taking part in the next match. Whereas this guy, if he gets injured, fine. And it's not as though he's going to be doing too many throwing manoeuvres to need reroll spending on him. So Loner won't really come into play. See our track, getting ready to kick. I want it fairly far back to stop the skinks getting to it easily. They should still struggle to pick it up since they're all stunty. And a quick snap, which lets the lizards move a space. Ball's going over here, I believe. I don't know why it doesn't show the yellow mark. When you're playing the game, it shows you where it's going to land. I don't know why it doesn't do that in a replay. Have I scored too early? I can't really tell, given that both teams play in black. No, the Dwarves are in dark grey, so they're actually in steel armour. They haven't yet earned the privilege of black kit, so they're in steel grey. But after their draw against the last match in the Amazons, I don't think the brown and shane really counts. So a Troll Slayer gets a Saurus to the face, gets knocked down. Armour broken. That was always likely. And now he's going to try and roll down my line. So 2 guys stunned. Pushed attacker down, lovely, that's fine. He does follow up, which creates the channel for movement down here. And that's just basing these players. It's not really going to help him, they're all guard players, so I'm still going to get the assists on the crop score and things like that. And the skink fails to pick up, which, always likely, but now he has got 2 turns to score. I don't think he can do it though. Unless he gets this skink all the way to about here, throws a short pass and runs it in. No, he can't score. No, because he's just had his turn 7, this is my turn 8. So no, he should have moved his skink down here first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Probably to about here and then go for it. Because the Troll Slayer's not getting up, he was stunned. Then he'd have a chance at a short pass and running it in at the end of the half, but he tried to pick up the ball too quickly. I'm guessing he was going for the handoff to the skink and then to try and run past, but tricky. So as it is now, I've got a turn to try and cause as much damage as I can before the end of the half. It's not going to be on any of his skinks, sadly. But we'll do what we can in the meantime. That's closed off his ingress. So if he does try and get a skink, I mean, he can just run down the side if he wants to. That's obviously not a problem. But it's not really going to help him too much. End of the turn. I might as well use my last reroll, because I'm not using it for anything else, I don't think. And if I can take down the skink, all the better. Unfortunately, I got it pushed. Troll Slayers don't have tackle or anything like that, sadly. So that becomes 1 dice on the source. Can we hurt him? Nope. Following up, just to upset the Croxigor. Doing well on the 1 dice. My luck's starting to shine. Good, we break armour on the Saurus. No injury though, so that's a bit of a waste. Everyone let's get straight back up. But so long as I don't take any more injuries, I think we'll be in a good position for the next half. Look at this, 2 dice, 2 dice. No injury, no injury. It's fine. Probably risk it with Croxigor on the blocker. Yep. Oh no, the Blitzer. So he's strength 4 against strength 5, so yeah, it makes sense. Again, he's just looking for injuries at this point. He's got the ball. Vanity pass? Yes. So star player point for his newbie skink. It's not really going to help him though. He just runs straight into the jaws of my blockers. Trying to hand off to his Saurus. Okay. Wasn't expecting that. Still, wouldn't have done him any good. He can't reach. End of the half. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Ironbeards 1, Pahuax Predators 0. I'll see you later for more Blood Bowl. Take care. Bye bye.